Alex Daugherty with the Tennessean. Brady, this first question's for you. I just wanted to know that day when you were kind of looking at options, July 1, and you talk with Nashville. What were those conversations like, and what kind of brought you here?
I mean, I've obviously played here as a guest or as a visiting team, and I always knew Nashville was at the top of the list. I've heard other guys say it checks all the boxes, and that's completely true. So I knew it was a team that I wanted to play for, and a team that in the future here has a chance to win. And obviously with the signings that they made on July 1st, that just makes it even more of a place that you want to be. So it was a pretty easy decision for me when I heard them call that I wanted to be here in Nashville.
Guys, Nick Keyser, 1025 The Game. Scott, this question is for you. I know that the last 2 years you've been in Dallas. You've had quite the NHL journey so far and traded multiple times and whatnot, but kind of walk me through what that process has been like for you, and as you reflect on your entire career, what's it mean to sign here?
Oh, I mean, obviously, kind of like the careers kind of come a little bit like full circle to earn your spot and the term in 2 years, things like that. So getting that deal with Dallas as a 2-year deal was massive, my first one-way contract. And, I think at the time it was well priced to put me in a spot to play on a winning team. I was, at the bottom of the league every time I seemed to get a job to stay afloat, and then to earn a spot, get traded by them was huge for me. And then to kind of put the 2 years together that I did was to put me in a spot to earn a little bit of a raise. And unfortunately, couldn't make that work with Dallas. And obviously, when the phones opened and Nashville was looking to add, it was obviously intriguing. And then to kind of keep my head above water like I did for a long time to earn that contract. And now obviously $1.5 million deal is something that was a long time coming and a thought for me and my family, and it was just very, very rewarding for what the journey's been.
Hey, Zach Gilchrist from NashvillePredators.com. Scott, obviously playing for a division rival in this building, you get a little bit of it from the crowd. How excited are you to now be on the other side of that?
Yeah, never fun to be told you suck, but the chants are part of hockey. I didn't play college hockey, but visited a lot of those games, and they do the crowd chants and things like that. But it's a fun place to play, and you get to be a guy to maybe quiet it on the other side was a fun time. And don't want to bring up any games or anything like that from the past year, but no, I think when you get to play behind a crowd that's passionate, they want to win, and if they can get in another goalie's head, I usually return it with, Wedgewood, you rock, or something in my own mind just to laugh it off. But you're doing something right in the sense that, obviously they're trying to get under you and get you off your game. But, to come here, play for the fans, they're very passionate. It's a fun place to play. Talking with the guys on Dallas being a division rival in the first game of the season, there's been some jokes and things like that already. But know it well, and, obviously excited to be on the other side of it for sure.
Brady, I'm not sure if you've had any conversations with Brunette or anybody yet, but have you thought about the idea of playing with guys like Roman Josi, and was that a part of this decision, thinking like, that guy's won a Norris Trophy, he's a top talent in the league, being able to play with someone like him on a daily basis for the next several years? Yeah,
I mean, I've definitely have thought about it. I haven't talked too much with Bruno about exactly what's going to happen. I think we'll let that kind of work itself out during training camp, but Roman's a special player. There's no question about it. If you put anyone with him, they're going to succeed. So definitely have thought about it, and it'd be a special guy to play with. Just try to get him the puck and let him do his thing, and try to contribute when I get the chance to. So obviously, I've definitely thought about it, and I think it'd be a really cool thing.
Russell on the left.
Hey guys, Russell Venozzi of Nashville Hockey Now. Brady, we'll start with one for you. When we talked to Steven and Jonathan, they were both a little disappointed that it didn't work out with their previous teams. I think they were both planning to probably stay there, or thought they'd initially stay there. Are you in a similar boat at all, or were you expecting to move on from Carolina at the end of the year? How did that sort of...
Yeah, it was my first time going through free agency, so it was it's kind of, definitely was a stressful few weeks and a few days, definitely leading up towards the end. And I love my time in Carolina. I can't say enough about good things about Rod Brindamore and Jordan Stahl and all the guys on the team. It just didn't work out in the end. And I think those guys, obviously with Stammer and Marcia, so were like pillars in their organizations. I wasn't like that in Carolina. I was obviously traded there from New York, so probably tougher for them. It still obviously is tough to leave a group that you've been with for the last few years and have made playoff runs, but I'm very excited. Me and my wife are very excited to be here in Nashville and to be a Predator.
For both of you, when you see the direction the team is going in, you see all the big signings that they make on July 1st, how excited does that get you? And, you know, how positive is the outlook, do you think, joining this team?
Yeah. No, I mean, that was a huge thing for me. With a team that I wanted to sign with was a team that's going to have success, and for years to come. I think you look at even before the signings on July 1st, the youth in this organization and the skill they have up here and even in the AHL and in the farm system, the team's going to be good for a while and make playoff runs in the future. And like I said, adding the guys that we did on July 1st just hopefully can speed that up pretty quickly. And I think it's going to be a very exciting few years here in Nashville.
Scott?
Obviously agree with everything. I think, you know, you look at the proven winners. I saw Stamkos firsthand with Tampa there when I was in the bubble with them and had a ton of skates trying to get him healthy for their run. You know, I don't know how many one-timers I've taken from him, but, you know, a true captain and leader through and through, and he found a way to win, not once but twice. And, you know, Marchessault's got to win. You know, it's going to bleed through the locker room. It's going to be something that obviously guys are going to watch and see what to do. And you bring that into an organization, it's true winners. You know, I was in that third goalie spot and watching it done, and it's, you know, relit my career through that bubble situation, just being a part of it. So when you bring in, you know, proven winners and guys that have been on deep runs, you know, I've back-to-back years going 101 games in the league and getting to the Western Conference Final, you know, you're right in the thick of it. You're ready to go at any point in time. So, you know, you bring in, you know, pillar pieces like you had mentioned, you can't not be excited. And then obviously with the youth and the skill that this team's possessed, it's going to be fun to watch. I don't really wish to be a goalie against that power play with who we've added.
Go to Emma up front.
Emma Lingen from the Hockey News. Scott, I'm wondering how, obviously, Nashville has kind of a reputation for goaltender development and obviously produced some really talented goalies here. And I'm wondering if you've had a chance to really talk with Ben Vanderklok or any of the, you know, the goalie coaching staff here and what those conversations have been like and what you're looking to get out of this experience here.
Well, obviously, you know, Mitch Korn, Benny called me after the signing was obviously announced on July 1 and had a good conversation. You know, Mitch goes back a long way, and Benny's been watching me. We've interacted, you know, numerous times as an away team. You know, my situation as a goalie, you play your 25, 30 games, you know your role, but I've been able to prove that I can take starter minutes if needed. You know, last year I think I did a stint of like 12 or 13 in a row and produced, and it's, you know, it's different. But I also find there's a luxury of playing me on a back-to-back when the team's on travel and they're tired, or you can play me when we're home and healthy, or you can play me 10 times in a row or once every 3 weeks. I think that's, you know, it's a hard position, and it's something I've had to, you know, work towards to be able to be ready at any moment, any game or start, middle of the game, things like that. So, you know, them talking about my game, looking at it, I always want to improve. I don't think my numbers really show how good of a goalie I am. And that's, you know, circumstance of, you know, where I started and where I built myself up to. But I think the last 2 years, if you look at, you know, where my games come with steady numbers, it's obviously been an uphill battle. But as I get better and the situation kind of comes to play behind a good defensive team, and you know, like you said, the goalie structure, it's going to be. I'm very excited to see what you know, we can do in the situation, and then a partnership with UC is going to be fun. I think we play the game aggressive and good skaters, so it'll be a pretty fun training session, and obviously to be able to watch what he does day in and day out, it's going to, you know, benefit me greatly.
Go to Ann in the front left.
Ann Kimmel, Penalty Box Radio. Question for you, Brady. They've talked a lot about improving special teams in Nashville next season. You, of course, do a little bit of everything when it comes to special teams. I'm just curious, what do you bring to that, and do you have a preference as far as a role when it comes to penalty kill power play?
No, I think obviously specialty teams are so important. You see that in the playoffs, and these teams that make runs, they're all clicking on specialty teams. For me, the the last couple of years have got more of an opportunity on the power play, which is obviously a lot of fun, and being able to jump out there and try to produce for your team is huge. I don't see myself being in front of Roman Josi, so I'm going to try to stay behind that. But definitely a penalty kill is what I've kind of been, my whole career have been on the penalty kill and have taken pride in that. And then the power play is just kind of a bonus. So I think I can add a little bit of both. Definitely have the experience on the penalty kill and keep gaining experience on the power play. So, I think I can, like I said, can bring a little bit of both to our team.
Back to Nick on the right.
Coming back at you, Brady, with the 7-year deal and obviously, wanting to have a foundation for you and your wife, how large was getting a longer-term deal, but also you're the longest signed D-man on this team currently. So does that excite you to be one of the pillars as well?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it was obviously important to get a long-term deal. We want to feel like we're a part of a city and a part of a team and a part of a fan base for years to come. And I think that I am, very grateful that I can be here for that long and try to be one of those pillars and a guy that the organization can lean on in many years to come. So we're super excited, like I said, and the 7 years is obviously we're very honored and grateful that the organization sees that in myself as a player and a person.
We'll do a couple more here for the guys. We'll go back to Russell on the left.
Scott, just to follow up on the question you were asked a few minutes ago, were you given any expectations on how much playing time you'll get here in Nashville? And are you expecting to be the number 2 behind UC?
Yeah, I think obviously, you can see the workload UC's had in the prior seasons and how demanding it is as a starting goaltender now. So nothing set in stone, nothing's been, guaranteed by any means. You got to earn everything in this league, and I'm, the first person to know that. So I think, if you look at what kind of has worked for the 1A starter and then a backup role, you look for 25, 30 games, and obviously give or take what management load looks like, schedule looks like, how the season's going. If you get a couple extra, a couple less, it's team first, and the first person to understand how that role works. It's a whole organization. You got to play. If you do well, you'll get in the net more, and obviously get the guys to trust me as an option every night. And I think if you look at the lineup, top to bottom, and if we have guys fill in holes, in any spot from what I've seen from Milwaukee and this whole organization, it'll be a lineup you expect to win going in every night, and that's huge as a pillar. And it's something that I felt coming from my first couple NHL teams to Dallas. You get out there expecting to win. It's a good mindset and a good confidence then for the whole team, and that's what this organization's built.
Back to Alex in the front.
Sorry, this is for both of you, and I apologize. It's a required question for anyone who comes to Nashville, but country music fans, and if so, are any particular artists that stand out for you?
Go ahead, Brady.
Yes, I am a country music fan. I'd say right now probably Luke Combs is number one for me. But definitely listen to all sorts of country and listen to all sorts of artists. So definitely a country fan.
Yeah, close follower of Old Dominion. Trevor Rosen's a Michigan guy. He was reaching out to me when I signed, so that was kind of cool. I've interacted with him a few times, but obviously big fan of those guys. Top to bottom, old country, new country. It's I think Hardy came out to a game in Dallas last year and was around the room and stuff, so that was kind of cool. But it's been on the list. I tried to learn the guitar years ago. Got to bar chords and called it quits. So won't put that as a talent. But no, obviously, I was walking down Broadway last night after dinner, and every door is a live music, and it's happening on a Tuesday night, not let alone a weekend. So it'll fit in for anyone family wise, and my wife and I as well.
Anything else for the guys here? We'll do one more last one.
Brady, I know your last name has a pretty unique pronunciation there, and it got you a mention on Saturday Night Live at one point. Now that you're more established, do you still have to correct people often on how they say your name, or has that gotten a little better with time?
Yeah, actually, Scott today asked me how to pronounce the last name, so he was questioning it. No, everywhere I go, it's I've heard every pronunciation under the sun. the best is when they mess up the first name and the last name, which actually happens quite a bit. So, no, I've been correcting that for many years now. So it's something I'm used to.